Right. So welcome to our TCS Ninja 2022 hiring training program. Okay, so today we'll discuss MCQs related to programming. Okay, so some of the important MCQs we'll discuss and related concepts also we'll discuss. So here we go. Now there is a question to print a string hello welcome without using printf or putchar function. Which of the following will be used? Okay, so option A is write 1 comma hello welcome comma 13. Okay, and the second option is puts function hello welcome. Then third one is system echo hello welcome. Then D all. Yes, any idea? Any idea? Right, so we got one message here. Option D is correct. Option D from Sagar Abhinash. Yes. Okay, so we know by put as function we can print a string. Okay, so this option B is correct. Then similarly, write function, using write function also, here one indicates standard output. One indicates standard output. Okay, so hello welcome, and how many characters we need to print, that we pass here. Okay, so option A and B both are correct. Okay, so when we A and B correct, then there is an option called D. Even if you don't know about this system called system, okay, then you can use this option D. That's how. Okay, it is not compulsory to know all the answers. Okay, so when two are satisfied here, you can go with the answer D here. Okay, so this also works. System call. Right. Now product revision is not related to. Okay, so this is actually TCS NQT related question. They have this SDLC added in last year. Okay, so just to get some idea about these type of questions, I included this. Okay, so in TCS Ninja there is no SDLC, I think. Okay, but we do not know whether sometimes some question suddenly may appear. Okay, right. So product revision is not related to maintainability, testability, flexibility, reusability. Any idea? Product revision. So that means once after developing the product, okay, so we need to perform product revision. Here, the client may suggest some new features into that. Okay, so that means again we need to maintain all those things. Okay, so maintainability is related to product revision. Testability is related. Okay, so flexibility is related to product revision, and reusability. Reusability means once you develop a code, okay, so once you develop a code, whether that code can be used in other products or not. Okay, so this reusability is nowhere related with the product revision. Okay, so option D is not related. Reusability is not related to product revision. what will be the output of the program? Say we have main function and we have static int I declared and printing I here. So option A 0, B 1, C runtime error, and D garbage value. Can you guess? We discussed this. Yes, yeah, Sagar has given his answer. Shashikant has given his answer. What about others? No, read the question properly. So, okay, static, this is related to storage class. Here, integer variable I is qualified with static storage class, and it is not initialized here. Okay, but when it is not initialized and you are trying to print the value of I. Okay, so all the static variables, when you don't initialize, by default, they will take the initial value as a 0. Initial value as a 0. Okay, so option A is correct here. Answer is 0. When you print I value, it prints as 0, not 1. Okay. Right. Yeah. So a language has 28 different letters in total. Each word in the language is composed of maximum 7 letters. You want to create a data type. This I think we discussed it in previous. Okay. Right. So next we'll go with the fifth question. What will be the output of the program? Constant int k. Then k is equal to 50. Say printf k value I am printing here. So then what is printed on the screen? K is equal to 50, option A. B is k equal to 0. C is compile time error, and D is runtime error. What is your answer? Yeah, no response. We got one. K is equal to 50. One answer I got from Yasagar given. Yes, Avinash. Okay. Shashikant. B. Sagar has given his answer. Okay. Right. So here option C is correct. Okay. So we'll get compile time error because when we declare an integer variable as constant type, and constant variables must be initialized. Okay. So you are saying that the variable k is constant. That means you cannot change its value. You cannot change its value. In such case, you must give some initial value to this variable. Okay. So here what you are doing, you are assigning a value to k afterwards. It is nothing but you are trying to change the value of k. That's how the compiler thinks. Okay. So when you say k is a constant, you cannot assign another value to k. That is how it thinks. Okay. So that's why when you try to assign another value to this constant variable, the second statement, okay, so then that gives a compile time error. Okay, so constant variables needs to be initialized and afterwards they cannot be changed. That means when you're variable is declared as constant, it becomes a read-only variable. You can think of it is only a read-only variable. Read-only means we can just use that value. You cannot change that value. Okay, right? So remember, constant variables must be initialized. And say, for example, if you remove this k is equal to 50, okay, and if you print, no doubt, by default, it takes the value as 0, then 0 will be printed. Okay, so what the compiler will think with this second statement is, you are trying to assign another value. Okay, so when you declare like this, 0 will be initialized to k. K takes the value of 0, and in the next statement, you are trying to assign another value. Okay, that means you are trying to change the value of k, but you declared it as constant. Okay, so that's why the compiler gives error. Next, what will be the output of the following program? Say one integer variable with value 50 and a pointer assigned with the address of a. Fifth question C is correct. Compile time error you will get. Compile time error. Okay. Right. So fourth one, see here, fourth one, when it is asked how many bytes, then it takes 7 bytes. But when it is asked how many bits you will assign to the data type to be able to store all kinds of words of the language. Okay. So when you have 28 letters in the language, see 28 letters of the language. Okay. So it is like this. Okay, when you have one bit, okay, so how many different numbers you can store? Okay, 0, 1. Okay, so that means 2 numbers you can store. That is nothing but 2 power of 1. Okay, so you can store 2 different numbers when you have only 1 bit. Okay, similarly, when you have 2 bits, how many different numbers you can store? 2 power 2. This we discussed. Okay, so 2 power of 2 numbers we can store. So that is nothing but 4 different numbers we can store. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so that means 0, 1, 2, 3. These 4 numbers we can store. Yes or no? Okay, or 4 symbols you can say. Similarly, when you have 3, you can store 2 power 3. Okay, so 2 power 3 is 8. Okay, so that means 8 different symbols you can store. Okay, so when you have 4, 2 power 4, that is nothing but 2 power 4, that is nothing but 16 different symbols you can store. Okay, and when you have 5 bits with you, you can store 2 power of 5, that is nothing but 32 different symbols you can store. 32 different symbols you can store. Okay, but here in our language, how many different letters are there? Only 28 letters are there. Okay, so for storing these 28 letters, different letters, how many bits we required? We required 5 bits we required. Yes or no? Because 4 bits, if you consider, you can store only up to 16 letters, 16 digits only. 16 letters only you can store. Okay, but you want 28 letters to be stored. So that means to represent 28 letters, we require 5 bits here. Okay, and now see here. Create a data types to store a word of this language. Okay, so and each word is of how many? 7 letters. Each word is of 7 letters. To store one symbol, we require or to store one letter, we require 5 bits here. We require 5 bits here. Okay. And each word is of how many letters? Each word is of how many letters? 7 letters. Okay. So that means to store a word, how many bits we required? 7 into 5, that is nothing but 35. 7 into 5, that is nothing but 35. Okay. So what is asking? Store a word as an array of letters. How many bits will you assign to the data type? That means 35 bits I will assign to this data type to store all kinds of words of the language. Okay. So each word is of 7 letters. Each word is of 7 letters. Okay. So to represent one letter, I require 5 bits. Okay. So then for 7 letters means 7 into 5, 35 bits I need to allocate to store a word. Okay. So now you can create a data type whose length is 35 bits approximately. Okay. So then option B is correct here. When he asked how many bytes will you assign means, then 7 letters means each letter if you consider as 1 byte. Okay. So then 7 bytes you can take in such case. Okay. So there are 2 ways of asking this question. How many bytes? When it asks 7 bytes, how many bits you require means, you can say 35 bits I require for this. Is it okay? Right. Still you have any doubts? Okay, done. Right. Yeah. So what will be the output of this program? Just look at this code here. A variable A with 50 value and a pointer P storing address of A and a double pointer K storing the address of P. Okay. So then he is printing these values A star P and star star P. So what is printed here? 50, 50, 50 or 50, 50 garbage or compile time error or 50 garbage, garbage. What will be the output? A is the answer. Sagar's answer option is A. Yes. What about others? Yeah, meanwhile, you send your answer. Okay. So when such questions are given, pointer related questions, better you take 1 to 1 minute and better you go with the memory diagrams. Okay. So here variable A memory is like this. Just you assume this is the memory for a A. Okay. So 50 is stored in this. Okay. So then there is another variable P, which is a pointer, Okay. So this is variable P, you can say, which is a pointer, which stores address of A, Okay. So Shashikant has given answer B. Okay. So address of A, nothing but we can say that P is pointing to this variable A. P is pointing to this variable A. Okay. Then we have another variable which is a double pointer. That means it is storing address of a pointer. Okay. So assume this is the double pointer K, which stores address of P. Okay. So this P address it stores, we can say that this K is pointing to this P. K is pointing to this P. Okay. So this is how the memory diagram. Now, okay. So there is no syntax error in these three. All these three are correct. Now, when it comes to print a percentage DA means the value in this box will be printed. 50 will be printed. Okay, assume for example 50 is printed. Then star p, percentage d star p. Star p indicates what? The value pointed by p. The value present in the location pointed by p. Okay, so p is pointing to this location, and what is the value present in this location? 50. So then star p, value at address pointed by p, we can say. Okay, so 50 will be printed. You can say second 50 is be printed. Okay, then star p, star p. Okay, so star p, it is not a pointing to another pointer. P is not pointing to another pointer. Okay, p is pointing to a ordinary variable. Okay, but when you dereference it 2 times, then compiler gives error. Compiler gives a error. Okay, so this statement causes compile time error. This statement causes compile time error. You should look at the variables very carefully. Had it been k, star k, then answer A would be the correct answer. Okay, but here he has mentioned star p, but p is not a double pointer. K is a double pointer. Okay, so star p indicates that first star value at this. It is nothing but address. Okay, then value in this address. That means it goes to this variable and 50 will be printed there. Okay, so had it been k, then 50 will be printed there. Okay, but here this statement, because p is only a single pointer, and you are dereferencing it 2 times, which causes compile time error. Then just see here, I have an array with these values 11, 24, 38, 12, and 16. Then I have 2 more pointers and an integer variable k. Then I say m is equals to num. Okay, so then n is equal to num plus 2, I assign. Then I say k is equal to star m plus 1. Okay, so if I print a percentage d k comma star m comma star n. Okay, so what is printed? 12, 11, 38, 24, 11, 38, 24, 24, 38, or 12, 24, 38. Okay, so I said num is an array with these 5 values. Okay, so when you draw this array diagram with these 5 elements, here this is our num. Okay, so this is num of 0 here. Okay, so this is num of 1, index 1 here. This is index 2 here. And this is index 3 here. And this is index 4 here. Okay, so this contains the value 11. Okay, so this contains the value 24. And this contains the value 38. And this contains the value 12. Okay, and this contains the value 16. Okay, so this is our array, and we have 2 pointers here, m and n. Okay, so assume m is a pointer here. Okay, so this is m, and n is another pointer here. 2 pointers which are going to store addresses here. Okay, another variable k is a variable here. We have one more variable k. Then when you say m is equal to num, okay, so num is nothing but the array name. Num is nothing but the array name. Okay, so the array name itself is a pointer. Please remember. Okay, the array name itself is a pointer. Itself is a pointer means which contains the address of this first element, num of 0. Okay, which contains the address of the first element. First element means num of 0. Okay, so the array name num indicates it is nothing but the address of num of 0. Address of num of 0. Okay, so that's why we say that array name itself is a pointer, constant pointer. It always points to this first element. That means actually, to be frank, it will be like this. Okay, so this is the array name implemented internally as a pointer, okay, which points to this first element. That means this first element address will be stored in num here. The first element address will be stored here. Okay, so that's why when you say m is equal to num, this first element address will be, num indicates first element address, that will be stored in m. Nothing but m is also now pointing to this first element. You can say m is now also pointing to this first element. That address will be stored here. Okay. Then n is equal to num plus 2. Just see here. Okay. N is equal to num plus 2. N is equal to num plus 2. Okay. So num indicates what? Num indicates first element address. Okay. And first element address, for example, assume that it is 1100. Okay. Assume the first element address is 1100. Okay. So when it is 1100, what is the address of next element? Assume each integer takes 4 bytes. Then this will be 1104. This will become 1104. Okay. So this address will become 1104. Okay. Then what is the next element address? It is nothing but 1108. Assuming each integer takes 4 bytes. Okay. So 1108. This element address is 1108. Okay. But when you write an equation like this, n is equal to num plus 2. It is nothing but pointer arithmetic here. Okay. So num indicates what? First element address. It is nothing but 1100. Plus 2 doesn't indicate that 1102. Plus 2 doesn't indicate 1102. Please remember. Okay. So when you do pointer arithmetic, it is nothing but it is plus 2. Internally, what the compiler will do is plus 2 multiplied by scale factor. Multiplied by scale factor. Scale factor indicates what? Size of each element. Okay. So size of each element is integer. No, how many bytes? 4 bytes. Okay. So 2 4s are 8. 8 plus 1100 is nothing but 1108. That 1108 will be stored in a n, which is address of this element, second element. Third element, sorry, 38, that will be stored in n. We can say that n is pointing to this 38. N is pointing to this 38. Okay. In another way, simply you can understand like this. N is nothing but move 2 elements away from the beginning. Okay. It is nothing but the address after 2 elements. Address after 2 elements. See here, num indicates first element address. Okay. So you move 2 elements, 1 and 2. Then this next element address is stored to n here. Okay. Which is nothing but 38. That 38 address will be stored here. Okay. So this is how the internal calculation will be performed by the compiler. That's how it gets that address. Okay. So the meaning of this is nothing but the starting address plus 2 multiplied by scale factor. Okay. So n will be pointing to third element. When you say k is equal to star m plus 1, see here, m is a pointer. When you say star m indicates what? The value pointed by m. So m is pointing to this first element. What is the value here? 11. 11 plus 1. 11 plus 1 is 12. That 12 will be stored in k. That 12 will be stored in k here. See here, directly star m indicates the value. Okay. So it is not address. Here num indicates address. This pointer arithmetic is different and number arithmetic is different. Okay. So star m indicates this value here. Value 11 plus 1 indicates 12. That 12 will be stored in k. And when you print k comma star m comma n, k indicates what? 12 will be printed. Okay. So 12 will be printed. Where are 12? So A and D. Okay. So that means these two options are violated here. Okay. So either A or D. For example, if you take 12, 12 is printed. Then star m. Star m means m is pointing to this location. So what is the value in that one? 11. So 11 is printed. That means 12 is printed. 11 is printed. Okay. Then star n. N is pointing to which location? This location. What is the value in that? 38. So then 38 will be printed. So option A is a correct one in this case. Option A is correct. Okay. I have one. Yeah. So Sagar has sent his answer correctly. Option A is correct here. Clear? Okay. So if you go with the memory diagrams and it becomes very easy, and that means, see, here I am taking some time here, but once you practice this, immediately within 1 minute, you can draw these memory diagrams, and finally you can get the correct answer. Even if you take half minute extra time, but confidently you can write the correct answer. Okay. So always go with memory diagrams for these pointers and arrays kind of questions. Okay. Right. Now, in the following expression, which of the following combinations of the variables A, B, C makes the variable K get the value 4? Okay. Now, conditional operator he has given K equals to A greater than B, question mark. Again, A greater than C, question mark. A colon C or colon B greater than C, question mark. B colon C. Okay. So we have 1 minute, less than 1 minute time. Okay. So we'll take up this again after re-login. Okay. So I stop here. Let me end the session.